How many people know that the most powerful company in the chip world is not TSMC or NVIDIA, but a company from a small town in the Netherlands? And here's a number that shocks almost everyone. One single Dutch company controls 100% of the world's EUV lithography machines, the machines needed to make the most advanced chips on Earth. Ever heard of this industry giant? ASML, based in Veldhoven, Netherlands, is unique. It builds the ultra-precise photolithography machines that print tiny transistor patterns onto silicon wafers, rather than designing or manufacturing the chips themselves. The most advanced model, the EUV machine, costs around $400 million and takes months to assemble from over 100,000 parts. Without these tools, no high-end processor or memory chip for devices like smartphones, laptops, or electric cars can be produced globally. This makes ASML the hidden foundation of the entire chip industry, giving this Dutch company quiet but immense global power. ASML began in 1984 as a small joint project created by Philips and ASM International, and during those early years, almost nobody in the tech world believed the company had any chance of becoming a major player, especially when Japanese giants dominated the lithography market. The company even worked out of a tiny shed next to a Philips building while struggling financially. But it kept pushing forward with a long-term mindset, choosing to pour money into improving lithography when many competitors backed out because the technology was too complex and too expensive. Over time, ASML built strong partnerships with suppliers, slowly improved its machines, and focused on future technology rather than chasing quick wins. This strategy helped it win the trust of major chip makers like TSMC, Samsung, and Intel, especially when ASML doubled down on EUV technology, a risky move that took decades to show results. Today, because of years of commitment, innovation, and stubborn belief in its long-term vision, ASML has grown into one of Europe's most valuable companies, worth over $400 billion, and stands as a global leader in a field no one else managed to master. One of the biggest surprises in the semiconductor world is that ASML holds a 100% monopoly in EUV lithography, the technology needed to make the most advanced chips, and no company, not Canon, not Nikon, and not any Chinese manufacturer, has been able to build an EUV machine. Competitors still make older DUV machines, with Nikon holding around 10% of the market and Canon around 4 to 5%. But when it comes to cutting-edge technology needed for 5 nanometers, 3 nanometers, and future 2 nanometer chips, their market share is basically 0%. EUV technology required more than 20 years of research and over $9 billion in investment, and while other companies gave up, ASML kept going until it achieved a breakthrough no one else could match. This effort gave ASML control of around 90% of the entire lithography market and 100% of the advanced segment, making it the only company capable of supplying tools that giants like TSMC, Samsung, and Intel absolutely depend on. Here's a quick question to think about. If one company controls a tool needed by the biggest chip makers on Earth, who really holds the power? This monopoly quietly gives ASML a level of influence over the tech world that very few people even realize. It's natural to ask why another company can't simply build an EUV machine. But the truth is that the technology barrier is enormous because EUV relies on 13.5 nanometer light created by blasting tin droplets with lasers at 50,000 degrees Celsius. And this beam must bounce off ultra-pure Zeiss mirrors, so perfect that a Germany-sized version would have bumps smaller than a millimeter. Only ASML and its partners can achieve this level of precision. The second challenge is the supply chain. Since ASML builds only 15 to 20% of each EUV tool, while the remaining 80 to 85% comes from thousands of specialized suppliers who have perfected single components over decades, making them almost impossible to replace. The final barrier is patents and knowledge, because ASML owns over 15,000 patents across physics, optics, precision engineering, and nanotechnology, And this is supported by deep tribal knowledge that no competitor can copy quickly. Even with unlimited money, catching up could take 20 to 30 years, which shows why these machines remain nearly impossible for any other company on Earth to duplicate. TSMC makes nearly 92% of the world's advanced chips below 10 nanometers, but every one of those production lines relies fully on ASML's EUV machines. And Samsung, another major chip maker, is also completely dependent on these systems, while Intel, despite trying to regain leadership, still needs ASML's technology to produce cutting-edge nodes, creating a situation where NVIDIA may design the hottest AI chips, and TSMC may manufacture them, but the machines enabling the entire process come only from ASML, meaning that if ASML stopped supplying equipment, every AI data center, smartphone maker, laptop builder, and even car manufacturer would face an immediate global crisis, because that is the level of influence ASML holds. ASML faces interest from several competitors, but none are close to its dominance in EUV lithography, as Nikon, once strong, now holds only about 10% after abandoning EUV due to technical challenges. Canon remains focused on older, low-cost machines with a tiny 4 to 5% share and zero presence in advanced chip making. China's SMEE is progressing slowly, but is still limited to 90 nanometer to 28 nanometer tools, far behind ASML's 3 nanometer and upcoming 2 nanometer capability. Despite ambitions, SMEE lacks the supply chain, patents, and decades of expertise needed to catch up. Overall market numbers show ASML controlling roughly 90% of lithography and 100% of EUV machines. Nikon maintains around 10%, while Canon holds just 4 to 5%, and SMEE stays in older node territory. None of these companies have the technology or manufacturing ecosystem required to replace ASML's EUV systems. This firmly positions ASML as the unchallenged leader in advanced semiconductor manufacturing. ASML's financial strength is visible through its €28.3 billion 2024 revenue, €7.6 billion net income, and over 51% gross margin, with 2025 revenue expected to reach €30 to 35 billion and long-term projections touching €60 billion, as nearly half its income comes from EUV systems, driven by AI, EVs, and cloud demand, while reinvesting almost all profits into research keeps ASML far ahead of rivals. The semiconductor hierarchy becomes clear as NVIDIA designs GPUs, TSMC, Samsung, and Intel manufacture them, but none can operate advanced lines without ASML's EUV machines, making ASML the quiet but most powerful choke point in the global tech chain. In geopolitics, ASML is central as the US pressures the Dutch government to block EUV sales to China, restricting purchases since 2019, and tightening rules even on DUV machines in 2023, preventing China from reaching cutting-edge nodes like 5 nanometers or 3 nanometers, giving the US a strategic advantage while China's SMEE struggles to catch up. China once made up 26% of ASML's sales, but the share is dropping due to restrictions, adding pressure alongside ASML's challenges such as supply chain bottlenecks involving rare materials, rising political restrictions, potential long-term competitor growth from China, and the struggle to manufacture enough EUV units to meet exploding AI demand. Looking forward, ASML is building high-NA EUV machines capable of printing sub-2 nanometer chips, costing around $380 to $450 million, with early buyers expected to be Intel, TSMC, and Samsung, setting the stage for the next decade of computing. Despite NVIDIA getting headlines and TSMC receiving praise for advanced manufacturing, ASML remains the backbone of modern technology because every smartphone, laptop, EV, cloud server, and AI model depends on chips created using ASML machines, making this Dutch company the silent foundation of the global semiconductor industry. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.